All right, the DNA document, okay? So we know you want to grow your ministry. You want to recruit more volunteers. You want to onboard better. You want to train better. You want to have more people in small groups. We understand that you want to grow your ministry. So we're here to help you do that. But what we've said, in order to grow your ministry, okay, if you want to scale your ministry, scalability starts with simplicity. And we remember that Craig Rochelle quote that says, growth creates complexity, but complexity kills growth. So every time you grow, your ministry is going to get more complex, which means the temptation is let that complexity become junk in the engine that keeps you from continuing to grow and scale. So our strategy for simplifying our ministry is creating the DNA document. Now, the DNA document is a one-page summary of your ministry. And we've said that if you cannot simplify your ministry down into one page, then your ministry is too complex to grow. All right. So in this video today, what we're going to talk about is each element within the DNA document that you need to have written down. Okay. So the first element is your vision statement. This is the why behind what you do. Now, we've said that the vision statement is your clear, contagious, consistent, and compelling statement about what God has called your ministry to do. Now, I believe every overarching church organization needs a mission, what God's called you to do. But I believe a vision statement is how you see your ministry actually fulfilling that mission. So whether it's in student ministry, you have a vision for fulfilling the overall mission. Now, we've set a great vision statement, which many people that I coach cannot tell me what their vision statement is for their ministry. Remember, without vision, people do throw off restraint. People do not want to follow somewhere or go somewhere that they have no idea where they're walking. Vision shows them the way. But we've said it needs to be clear, okay? So it can't have have all kinds of modifying sequences or modifying statements in there. It can't have tons and tons of commas and semicolons, and it needs to be very, very clear. And then it needs to be contagious, meaning it means I need to be able to say it and you can remember it pretty quickly. Okay, so if it's too long, if it's unclear, it's not going to be contagious. And then it needs to be consistent. And what I mean by consistent is if your mission for your church is just like make disciples, then your student ministry shouldn't be all about just reaching more people. It's got to be consistent together. And yes, I know that's often a false dichotomy, but you get what I'm saying. It's got to be consistent with the overall church's mission. We create vision within vision. And then it needs to be compelling, meaning when you tell me it should be aspirational to me, or inspirational for me is a better word. It should inspire me to want to get involved. Why? Because it's a vision statement. It's the why behind what you do. You got to know the vision statement for your ministry. That's element one. Element two is your strategic goal. Now, I love setting goals. And I think if you're not setting goals in your ministry, you're lazy. Okay? Now, those goals are not your God by any means. These goals don't drive everything you do. But these are good, well-intentioned things that you sense the Lord is calling you to do, to actually put on paper and do in the upcoming year. Now, I talk about a strategic goal. Now, this is the what you're doing. Now, the strategic goal is this. It's a measurable goal that defines what is important in a specific season to accomplish your vision. So, for example, let's say our vision statement, and I'll just go back to my days in student ministry. Our vision statement was to help students experience Jesus, okay? Your strategic goal usually is going to be written in X to Y by Z, or because of Z, if you want to be more thematic in what you're saying. So, for example, I would say, hey, our vision is to help students experience Jesus. And our strategic goal in this season is we want to grow our attendance from 100 to 150 by January 1st, 2025. Okay? So that's a strategic goal. Now, your strategic goal is going to change. It might be more about growing in width. It might be more about growing in depth. It might be more about getting people engaged into groups or taking a next step or recruiting new volunteers. But in a specific season, what is the most important measurable thing that you need to drive towards, okay, in order to accomplish your vision? This is going to change season to season. You're a good shepherd. You're a strategic leader. So you're going to have your finger on the pulse and know what the ministry needs in the current season. and do your best. But we're going to write down a strategic goal. We once had a strategic goal to reach 1,000 students, and it happened. It took us several years, but we needed to create critical mass early in the beginning of starting our student ministry, so that's what we drove towards. The third thing is your key characteristics. So if your vision statement was the why, your strategic goal was the what, your key characteristics are the who, okay? So who is going to be a good volunteer in your ministry? I ask that to people, and they often, mumble and stutter and give me all kinds of different things, and those are great, probably values. But I think it's really important to define exactly what you're looking for. Because when you can define who you are looking for, then you can also define who you're not looking for and make sure only the right volunteers engage in your ministry. Volunteers are the vehicle for how we're going to grow God's church. And so I say key characteristics are the 3 adjectives that describe the right volunteer. We used to use in a guest experience ministry I led, personal, energetic, and welcoming. It was an acronym, PEW, okay? Everybody could remember PEW. In student ministry, we borrowed this from Passion City Church, which was healthy, relatable, and growing. These are 3 key characteristics of people who would be great to serve, okay? Again, that shows me who I'm recruiting, how I'm onboarding, what I'm training people towards. It's the Rosetta Stone, unlocking all strategic growth in our ministry. Element 4 is our key actions. Okay, again, we could probably do an entire video on this, but the key actions are the repeatable actions and behaviors we take to fulfill the vision and achieve our goal, okay? So, for example, if you're going to go to McDonald's and McDonald's is going to achieve their mission of you coming in and having a great time, there's 3 things they got to have for me to have a great time at McDonald's. Number 1 is they got to have a good, fresh, double quarter pounder of cheese. Their fries can't have been sitting there all day. They need to freshly come out of the fryer, have salt on them, and their ice cream machine has got to be not broken. Now, as you can tell, that doesn't always happen at most McDonald's because their ice cream machine is always broken, but you get the picture. There's 3 repeatable actions they got to have to win. What are the 3 repeatable behaviors your people need to do in order to achieve your mission? So for us, it was show up regularly and randomly in students' lives. It was have insane amounts of fun, and it was help students take their next step. If we're doing those 3 things, we're achieving our mission. These are behaviors that we're inviting all of our volunteers to do. Then element 5 is our teams. This is the where. So the vision was the why, the strategic goal was the what, the key characteristics were the who, the key actions are the how, and the teams are the where. Where can I serve in this ministry? And so on this DNA document, I like to list out, hey, here's the 3 teams you can serve. There's middle school small group leaders, high school small group leaders, and a guest experience team with a 1-sentence job description behind that. Now, we'll talk in a later video about the 1-sentence job description, but every team should be able to boil down what they do into 1 sentence. Why? Because scalability starts with simplicity. If people can't remember it, people can't do it. If people can't do it, then we can't achieve it. So this is the list of teams. And finally, number 6 is how to get involved. Okay, what is the next step? Because you're going to give this to a prospective volunteer, and you need to be able to go through this and be able to say it from memory and say, hey, here you go, here's your next step. And it's right there on that 1-page DNA document. Okay, remember, growth creates complexity. Complexity kills growth. And scalability always starts with simplicity. So if we're going to grow, we got to simplify what we're currently doing. And here's what I would put on that DNA document. Now, in our next video or in our next article, what we're going to share with you is the actual downloadable template, because everybody likes a template, right? So, yep, check it out.